Welcome in. Shalom. 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 Welcome in. 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 Tap that screen, get them lights up for me so we can push the live out. Shalom, welcome in. Shalom. Shalom, welcome in. Shalom. Tap that screen so we can push the live out. Let's go. Shalom. Thank you for the gifts. Shalom. Thank you for the gifts. Appreciate you. Shalom, everyone. I hope everybody's having a good day. Hold on one second. Shalom. All right. Let me change the background. All right, forgive me. It seems like my internet is running a little bit slow. Shalom, shalom, everybody. So today we are going to be doing Books Recommended Lesson 2. And I chose to do this lesson because it's important for my people, the Hebrew Israelites, that's the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that are scattered abroad that don't know who they are and are wandering aimlessly about in the world and filling their minds with meaningless things of this world like sports stats, fashion, and what's going on in the entertainment industry or politics and so many other distractions you can find on the TV and on the internet. When we should be learning ourselves and who we are as a people and as a community so we can rise. You can learn it, then you teach it to your people and your children. So much of it becomes like a virus and it spreads throughout the world of who the true children of the Most High Yahweh are. Because what is the strongest muscle in the human body? Does anybody know? Does anybody know what the strongest muscle in the human body is? Can y'all hear me? The brain, yes. Sister Tara, the brain. That's why it's important to fill your brain with knowledge and truth, because knowledge is power. And in order for us to take back what is rightfully ours, we have to be able to fight back. Not only with our physical strength, but with our brains, our minds. We have to show them that we're not out here playing checkers, we playing chess. So we have to flex our brains and let them know that in 2025, we taking back what belonged to us. So today, we're going to recommend some books to put in your arsenal so you can stay locked and loaded when the enemy, which are all the other nations, try to say that you are not a Hebrew Israelite or the chosen people. These books are going to be your receipts to shut their asses down and cut the snake's head off, because I'm tired of my people being in a slumber. It's time to rise, Israel. Qam Yasharala. So, let's see. The first book is Shalom, everybody. The first book that we're going to recommend is, I wish there was a faster way to do this. I'm sorry, y'all. Work with me here. Background. Is it not going to let me do it? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to put the background of the book up. Oh, man. Okay. Now on TikTok, that has changed its settings, I see. So I may not be able to do it. Shalom, sister. All right, well. No, I'm not co-hosting. Well, I had planned on putting the background of the books of each one up, but it looks like it's not going to allow me. So I'm just going to proceed. All right, so the first book is called The Roman Empire, The Empire of the Edomites by William Beeston. William Beeston, in his 1858 book, The Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomite, contends that the Roman Empire was of Edomite origin, displaying a great amount of research into the ancient documents and tradition, and gives some sound expositions of a few obscure parts of the sacred oracles. The Hebrew word Edom means red, and is derived from the name of its founder Esau, the elder son of the Hebrew patriarch Isaac, because he was born red all over. As a young adult, he sold his birthright to his brother Jacob for red porridge. The Tanka describes Edomites as the descendants of Esau. So Edom was an ancient kingdom in Transjordan, located between Moab to the northeast and Arabah to the west of the Arabian Desert to the south and east. Most of its former territory is now divided between Israel and Jordan. Edom appears in written sources related to the late Bronze Age and to the Iron Age in the Levant, such as the Hebrew Bible and Egyptian and Mesopotamian records. At the time of his publication, Beeston's research overturned in the minds of some long-standing notions concerning the origin of the Roman Empire, or at least cast considerable doubt upon them. His scholarship and particular lines of investigation enabled him to adduce some strong evidence that the Roman Empire is of Edomite origin. The grounds upon which he constructed his inquiry are Jewish tradition, Hebrew and Phoenician etymology, and scripture prophecy, bringing to bear upon each branch some confirmatory evidence from either heathen historians or Christian philologists. The book is worthy of attention and is one to be studied, not glanced at. This book is available on Amazon in paperback for $4.99 or hardcover for $19.99, and it has a 4.6 star rating. All right. Our second book is called Undeniable by Dante Fortson. Undeniable is the perfect outreach tool to connect with anyone that is skeptical of the claim that the Israelites of the Bible were black and have always been black. This is first and foremost an outreach tool, but it is also makes a great gift for anyone that wants to see hard evidence. So inside this book, you'll find maps, paintings, statues, explorer journal entries, memorial to the presidents of the United States, and all the evidence adds up to the fact that there was a multinational conspiracy to kidnap, enslave, and hide the true history of Negroes scattered all over the world through the transatlantic slave trade. There has been a conscious, concerted effort to steer people away from the truth that Israel fled into Africa in 70 AD and still inhabits many areas of the continent. You could buy this book on Amazon in paperback for $34.95 or in hardcover for $44.99, and it has a 4.8 star rating. Okay, our next book is called The Autobiography of an Ex-Colored Man by James Weldon Johnson. All right, this book was first published anonymously in 1912. The Autobiography of an Ex-Colored Man is James Weldon Johnson's fictional account of a young biracial man living in America during the second half of the 19th century and early part of the 20th century. The so-called ex-colored man makes his living as a jazz pianist, playing ragtime music at a popular New York club. It is here that he catches the attention of a wealthy white gentleman who takes a curious interest in him and employs him to play at his parties. While he becomes friends with the man, a feeling of subservice reminiscent of slavery prompts him to part ways. He travels to the South, where he intends to work on his music in an attempt to glorify the artistry of his race. After witnessing a terribly horrific lynching, he abandons his desire to embrace his black heritage, opting instead to pass as a white man. The autobiography of the ex-colored man masterfully explores the complexity of race relations between whites and blacks in America and the search for racial identity by one of mixed ethnicity. Through the experiences of its unnamed protagonist, the issues of class, race, and discrimination are discussed with an openness uncommon to literature of the time, and which should establish it as a pivotal work of the Harlem Renaissance. This edition is printed on premium acid-free paper. You could buy this book on Amazon, a paperback for $6.29, or hardcover for $10.63, and it has a 4.4 star rating. Our next book is called Black Thunder by Gabriel Revolt. Virginia, 1800. Gabriel Procer's 1800 slave revolt allowed Beauchamp to warn of the rebellion that would come of poverty and racial oppression. This metaphor of revulsion, is at the same time a highly pertinent representation of black masculinity that will reward students of gender, slavery, and sensibilities of the 1930s. This book is on Amazon, a paperback for $17 with a 4.5 star rating. Our next book is called Fine Clothes to the Jew by Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes was an absolutely amazing person. He was born on February the 1st, 1902 in Joplin, Missouri. Even as a child, he lived all over the U.S. and in Mexico too. He lived in a number of large cities. He spent some time at Columbia University, but didn't enjoy the experience. He set out to see the world. He sailed the Canary Islands to Africa, to Holland, to Italy, and more. He explored the world, and eventually he decided to take on New York City. His poems showcase in a wide range of experience. While his first book received great acclaim, this second book of poetry, Fine Clothes to the Jews, was not so fortunate when it was published by Hughes in 1927. It received criticism for not being supportive enough of the black community and experience. Contemporary critics called it full of, quote unquote, the gutter and the sewer. Langston, on the other hand, felt he was writing about the real life of his friends and family. The title of this book, Fine Clothes to the Jews, was common slang in Harlem, New York at the time. In essence, it meant when you need money, you bought your best clothes to a Jewish pawnbroker where you get the most possible for the trade. Langston was a black man writing about the black experience in the 1920s. Many of the terms he uses, as a matter of course, modern readers would find offensive. And this book at the moment is not available, but it does have a 4.7 star rating. So look for this book when it get ready to come back out, and it is in restock. Our next book is Nigger Heaven by Van Vechten Carl. So Carl Van Vechten's seminal work, Nigger Heaven, offers a provocative exploration of African American culture in the Harlem Renaissance. Intertwining vibrancy with sober realities, the novel employs a modernist literary style marked by rich imaginary and intricate characterization that provide both an intimate and sweeping view of the era. Van Vechten's narrative effectively captures the complexity of race relations and identity, delving into the lives of its protagonists who navigate love, ambition, and the challenges imposed by racially divided society. The title, controversial yet bold, alludes to the harsh social obstacles faced by Black individuals while simultaneously celebrating their resilience and creativity in arts. Carl Van Vechten, an influential American writer and photographer, was a prominent figure in the Harlem Renaissance. Deeply engaged with the cultural movements of his time, his relationships with key figures such as Langston Hughes and Zora Neale Hurston shed light on the genuine appreciation and commitment to championing Black culture. Van Vechten's first-hand experience within Harlem allowed him to depict an authentic narrative that seeks to bridge understanding between races, positioning himself as both a participant and observer for those seeking a nuanced perspective on race and identity in the early 20th century in Africa. Nigger Heaven stands as an essential read, and this book is a vital addition for anyone interested in American literature, cultural studies, or historical context of the Harlem Renaissance. You can purchase this book at Barnes & Noble's in paperback for $14, and it has a 4-star rating. Qam. All right, book number 7, 1882 Manners of the Ancient Israelites by Claude Fleury and Adam Clark. This is a reproduction of a book published before 1923. The book may have occasional imperfections such as missing or blurred pages, poor pictures, errant marks, etc. that were either part of the original artifact or were introduced by the scanning process. We believe this work is culturally important and despite of the imperfections, have elected to bring it back into the print as part of our continuing commitment to the preservation of printed works worldwide. They say that they appreciate your understanding of the imperfections in the preservation process and hope you enjoyed this valuable book. So the data provided is as an additional tool in helping to ensure addition and edification. You can purchase this book on Amazon a paperback for $31.97 or hardcover for $38.95, and it has a 4.2 star rating. Our next book is called The Ancient Israelites and Egypt, History of the Enslavement by Charles Rivers Editors. So this book is going to include pictures, including ancient accounts written by Egyptian and Assyrian rulers, and it discusses historically of the biblical accounts of Exodus, including online resources and bibliography for further reading, includes a table of contents, and the Lord said to Moses, "Why do you cry to me? Tell the children of Israel to go forward. But lift up your rod and stretch out your hands over the sea and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And I indeed will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they will follow them. So I will gain honor over Pharaoh and over all his army, his chariots, and his horsemen. The Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, when I have gained honor for myself over the Pharaoh, the chariot, and his horsemen." Exodus 14, the story of the Egyptian Israelites in Egypt, is one of the most famous stories in the world and one of the most contentious from the historical standpoint. Today, most people know about the relationship between the ancient Israelites and the Egyptian from the Old Testament book of Exodus, and the numerous future films that often depict the dealings between the two people in the contentious ways, the deadly plagues, and the crossing of the Red Sea. The erroneous 40 years the Israelites spent in the desert, and the Ten Commandments make all the Exodus unforgettable. But they've also left generations of scholars wondering just how accurate the scripture is, with some seeking to prove the historicity of the account, and others trying to tie it to the Babylonian exile of the ancient Israelites in the 7th century BCE. It is true that the Egyptians and the Israelites had, at times, a difficult relationship and stemmed from Egypt's status as an imperial power and the Israelites as a conquered people. But their shared history began long before the biblical Exodus and continued long after both people were no longer relevant as ancient powers. Indeed, a closer examination of Israelites' ties to Egypt reveals that there is more to the story than just the book of Exodus, and that the fortunes and mysteries of the Israelites were often inexplicably intertwined with that of their Egyptian neighbors. The story of the Israelites in Egypt began in the first book of the Old Testament, Genesis, when the Israelites were known as Hebrews, and ends after Egypt passed under the foreign rule of the Israelites, became known by their modern appellation, Jews. The Old Testament provides the backbone of the ancient resources from Egypt and the Levant, along with textual sources from Egypt and Mesopotamia. Also provide a fuller picture of the two peoples' geopolitical interactions. A study of the source reveals that ancient Israelites-Egyptian relations were truly complex, and the events of the Exodus were merely just a few in a series of ebbed and flowed according to the desires and abilities of either people. Both the Israelites and the Egyptians used their relationship with the others in order to obtain wider geopolitical objectives in ever-changing world of the late Bronze Age and early Iron Age. So you can purchase this book on Amazon in paperback for $7.42, and it has a 3-star rating. But I truly believe that book has a lot to offer, and better than what the rating is. The famine in the land proves we were there in the plagues of the firstborn. Qam. It's a good point, Spirit 99. All right, our next book is The Culture of the Ancient World and the Ancient Israelites and the Neighbors by Marian Broida. So in this book, children could try their hand at recreating ancient Israelite culture, along with the cultures of their neighbors, the Philistines and the Phoenicians, in a way that will provide perspective on current events. The book covers a key period from the Israelite settlement in Canaan in 1200 BCE. To their return from exile in Babylonia in 538 BCE. This was part of the Middle East, no larger than the modern-day Michigan, was the birthplace of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. One of 35 projects includes stomping grapes into juice, building a model Phoenician trading ship, making Philistine headdress, and writing on a broken clay pot. Israelites, Phoenicians, and Philistines' writings and languages, the way they built their homes, the food they ate, the clothes they wore, and the work they did. And of course, their many interesting stories are all explored. You can buy this book on Amazon in paperback for $19, and it has a 4.6 star rating. Shalom. Okay, our next book is called The Philosophies of the Ancient Greeks and Israelites by Ben Kimpel. This book is a study of moral philosophies of two of the most important or prominent ancient cultures, the Greeks and the Israelites. Apart from its formal subject matter, moral philosophy is a species of reflection on the nature and problems of human life. In this religious literature of the ancient Israelites, a type of moral philosophy is affirmed, which bears a remarkable parallel to the serious reflections on life found in the literature of the ancient Greeks. The Greek literature, however, is not considered to be primarily religious, and certainly is not generally regarded as scripture. Thus, the occasional reference to the Iliad or the Odyssey of the Bible of the early Greeks must be interpreted in a somewhat different manner as references to the strictly religious writings of the priests and prophets among the Israelites. You can buy this book on 8books.com, used in hardcover, ranging from $4.95 to $23.95. So if you want that book, you want to hurry up and get over there and get the cheapest one you can get. Shalom. Welcome in. Alright, our next book is called Blackness in Latin America and the Caribbean, Volume 2 by Arlene Torres. If we are to understand the meaning of blackness in the African diaspora and elsewhere, we must critically examine the paradigms that have emerged from Euro-American racism and black liberation over the past 5 years, or in the past 5 centuries. So argue the editors of these foundational volumes, which add immersively to our understanding of black experiences in Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. In their introduction to this extensive collection, the editors discuss historically forces and provide a critical interpretive theory of structure of domination and processes of liberation in Black Americas by dealing with the racialist concepts of the dual standpoints of nation-state and ethnic bloc. They clarify many issues of cultural representation and social identity in Latin America and the Caribbean. You can purchase this book on Amazon in paperback for $27.85, but don't wait because there's only 2 in stock and it has a 5-star rating. So run and get that book as quick as you can. Our next book is called The Truth About Black Biblical Hebrew Israelite Jews by Ella J., the world's best kept secret. Now, this book has no summary, but the title alone says a lot. So if you want to know the truth about what happened to the true biblical black Jews in the year 70 CE, pick up this book. You can buy it in Amazon in paperback for $14, and it has a 4.6 star rating. Our next book is The Negro, Let Us Make a Slave by Willie Lynch. The Willie Lynch Letter and the Making of a Slave was written by Willie Lynch and published in 1712. This controversial book provides some context in the arena of America's slavery. This book is said to have come from the speech of Willie Lynch and on the banks of the James River. You can purchase this book on Amazon in paperback for $7 or hardcover for $18, and it has a 4-point star rating. Okay, our next book is Atlas of the Transatlantic Slave Trade by David Eltis and David Richardson. So between 1501 and 1867, the transatlantic slave trade claimed an estimated 12.5 million Africans and involved almost every country with an Atlantic coastline. In this book, two leading historians have created the first comprehensive, up-to-date atlas on this 350-year history of kidnap and coercion. It features nearly 200 maps and is specially created for the volume that explore every detail of the slave traffic to the New World. This atlas is based on the online database, which is www.slavevoyages.org, with records of over 35,000 slaving voyages, with roughly 80% of all such voyages ever made. You can purchase this book in paperback for $30 or hardcover for $29. So the hardcover on this one is cheaper than the paperback. So I would get the hardcover. And it has a 4.8 star rating, and you can get this on Amazon. Oh, I saw somebody came up on the panel. All right, our next book is called Remember Me, Slave Life in Coastal Georgia by Charles Joyner. Remember Me is a short primer on the coast of Georgia and its unique African cultural heritage. Charles Joyner offers a rich picture of that culture's stories, songs, and tradition, as well as 19th century plantation life, and in which it endured. You can buy this Amazon for $17.95, and it has a 4.8 star rating. All right, Salakia, y'all, I've been sick, so I'm a little short-winded. So now I'm just gonna go through and pick out some books. Is somebody on the panel? Shalom,
Shalom.
Daniel, and
Shalom.
Shalom, Sister Deborah.
Shalom.
Shalom. Where am I?
Shalom.
I'm coming. Oh, okay. Shalom. Everyone.
Shalom. Did y'all have something y'all wanted to say about the book so far?
Very interesting.
Shalom.
Very interesting. And there was some books
Qam.
that you called out that I might look into. But I asked the question, do they have those books in the library?
Some of these books can be found in the library as well, if you don't want to purchase them. Some of the books also you can download online on websites that offer free books. I did see that as well. Yeah, a lot of these books are very, very, very interesting. Like I want to pick up some of these books myself. because I believe a lot of these books are going to really help our people to wake up to who they are. Because it's really important for us. So I'm gonna let's see what's the next book that I found super interesting. Because I am getting like, I've been sick with the bronchitis, but the show must go on, right? All right, so the next book I'm gonna go to How to Make a Negro Christian by Kamal Makisi Tahiti or Tahuti. So it says, what will be the benefit of giving enslaved Africans Christianity? It is a matter of astonishment that there should be any objection at all for the duty of giving religious instruction to our Negroes, and the benefits flowing from it should be obvious to all. The benefits we conceive to be incalculably great, and one of them is there will be greater subordination among Negroes, and that would be on page 52. So you could purchase this book on Amazon for $22.95 in paperback, and it has a 4-star rating. Okay. Our next book would be Hebrews to Negro by Ronald Dalton. Okay. It says the book Hebrews to Negroes is to wake up Black America. It touches on subjects too controversial for most authors to reveal to the people. This book will expose the truths that have been hidden by the powers to be in the Americas. Since the European and Arab slave traders stepped foot into Africa, blacks have been told lies about their heritage. This was all by Satan's design, for he is the father of lies. There is an old stereotypical expression that says, if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. Well, this is the book that all black people must read. Since biblical times, there has been a satanic agenda to destroy God's chosen people. This agenda will exist today and is carried on by the man in many forms. Satan knows who God's chosen people are, but for centuries have been blind to this knowledge, even though it's been right in front of our face. After many years of research, the time has finally come for all black people to know the truth. Inside Hebrews to Negroes, you will find the answer to the burning questions you have wanted to ask your parents, teachers, and pastors for years. It has been said that the mind has a strong drive to correct over a period of time. If you could touch some substantial original historical base about itself, this time period is ending and the truth is being exposed. Is this the sign of the end times? The Bible says in the last days that knowledge will increase. It also says, the last days, saith God, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, your old men shall dream dreams. Knowledge is the truth, and Satan's time is running out. So you definitely want to go and pick up this book, and I guarantee you won't regret it. You can buy this book on Amazon for $35.95 in paperback or $50 in hardcover, and it has a 4.8-star rating.
I wonder if it's on Kindle.
Say again, sister?
Kindle. If it's on
Yes, ma'am.
Amazon has Kindle. I have to check into that.
Okay. Looks like General Nabaja is requesting to come up. One of the moderators, can you accept General Nabaja's request?
Shalom.
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 Shalom. Yeah, they shouldn't be able to have that ability for guest panels unless they in upper ranks. More like just block and mute.
Oh, Khan. I thought
Ken and
somebody was in here that could let. I thought I saw General Matthias.
but he's trying to talk, but his mic is messing up. Am I echoing?
Oh, Khan. No, but it's lagging a little bit. Shalom.
Shalom. Where everybody go?
I don't know. It looks like he dropped.
Shalom.
Shalom. Oh, you dropped? Okay.
So, brother.
Let me see. I think TikTok is having a bad signal today. All right, I accepted you, General Nabaja. Yeah, brother.
That's what I was coming up because I believe that Hezekiah bought that last book that you mentioned already.
Yeah, he said he has the receipt to bring out, and TikTok won't let him speak. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I
'Cause-
don't know if they're messing with my live because of what I'm saying. That may be a possibility.
But what was that last book you just mentioned?
Thank you for the gifts. The last book that I mentioned. Hold on one second.
It was Hebrew to Negro.
Yes, Hebrews to Negro by uh, Ronald Dalton.
Now it's a good read, but I advise people to be careful because it goes into that DNA stuff. So you got to be careful about that. And you know, this was the same thing that got Kyrie Irving in trouble.
Uh-huh.
This was that. This was it. Except it wasn't a book. It was the
Okay.
documentary.
Con. What was the name? I didn't get it. It was called Hebrews to Negro by Ronald Dalton. All right. So the next book that I want to bring out is that I thought was interesting. The Book of Negroes by Lawrence Amanata Diallo. The Book of Negroes is a 2007 historical novel, and it tells the story of Aminata Diallo, an 11-year-old girl kidnapped from West Africa and sold into slavery in the 18th century South Carolina. Her journey involved the horrors of the transatlantic slave trade, a brief period of freedom and education in Nova Scotia, and her eventual return to Africa. The novel uses the historical British ledger, the Book of Negroes, which documented the names of Black loyalists evacuating to Nova Scotia as a central narrative device. You could buy this book on Amazon for $18 in paperback or $65 in hardcover, and it has a 4.7-star rating. All right, the next book, The Hebrew Heritage of
Salakia.
Black.
I also
Uh-huh.
want to mention there's a movie series that goes along with that book. So if you would like, it's awesome. The movie series is awesome.
You know, when I was reading that, I was thinking I thought I remember there was a TV series or something where it had like a couple of seasons or something like that. So
It's the
yes,
whole thing from beginning to the end. It's awesome.
con, con.
I mean, not
Are
the things that happened, but the show of what took place and how they laid it out. It's more like how we watch Rosewood.
con, con. Yeah, I'll have to check that out too then. But definitely, it sounds like it would be a good series, and the book sounds like it would be really good too, to give us an idea of what happened to our ancestors when they were taken from Africa and brought to another land. So definitely sounds like a good read. All right, our next book. I want to bring this one out, Hebrew Heritage of Black Africa by Stephen Jacobs. A complete documentation of the true Hebrews and the ancestry from Black Africa as documented by Moses Farrar and Stephen Jacobs, a European Jew and a respected historian. You could buy this book on Amazon in paperback for $16, and it has a 4.7-star rating. All right, definitely want to get this book right here. This is called Who's Who in the Bible and the Apocrypha by Isaac Asimov. It doesn't give a detailed description, but again, the title is pretty much self-explanatory. So if you want to learn who's in the Bible, aka your biblical nationality, which is what we bring out a lot, this is definitely the book that you want to get, and it's available on Amazon for $76.34 with a $3.99 or $9.99 delivery charge. So you know that this is definitely bringing something out here. And that delivery charge is depending on how fast you want that book to get to your house. So you want to get that book. Again, that book is Who's Who in the Bible and the Apocrypha by Isaac Asimov, and it's $76 with a $3.99 to $9.99 delivery charge, and it has a 4.8-star rating.
So that means it's good. If
That
it's
means it's
four
good,
point
good.
5 point, that means it's good. You know what I mean? If you know
Con,
bookwork.
It's
con.
$76, you say?
$76, but I
My goodness,
guarantee
I
you it's
remember
going to
the
be
last
well
time
worth
we
it.
looked, it was $18. Wow. I have
Yeah.
this book.
So,
It's like a encyclopedia.
yeah. So it's going to tell you who everybody is, so you know who the enemy is and who's your friend or your brothers and sisters. So I definitely would want to get my hands on that book for sure.
Yes, it is.
Now this next book, we found is no longer available anywhere. So you want to write this down, because as soon as you can find it somewhere, used, new, whatever, if you can find this book, you definitely want to get this one. It's called William A. Edey, The FDR Meets IBN Saudi. So William Edey, FDR Meets IBN Saudi, a new American Friends of the Middle East in 1954, 46 pp. Dark. Let's see. Now we're gonna skip all that part. That's just talking about how the book looked. Okay, so the only book written by participants in the first meeting between the President of the United States and the King of Saudi Arabia in February the 14th, 1945. Middle East Conference held on board the USS Quincy on the Great Bitter Lake of the Suez in Egypt. Edey was the first U.S. ambassador to Saudi Arabia from 1944 to 1946 and instrumental in arranging the meeting. From before the Allies landing on the coast of North Africa on November the 8th, 1942, the handful of us who knew the date and place of the landings were terrified lest we might talk in our sleep. In those days before the landing, it was imperative that one neither cancel nor increase normal engagements of many kinds, lest he give the alert. One must plan to go to the tailor as usual to be measured for a suit, or to a barber for a haircut, or to invite Spanish friends in for a cocktail party which will never come off, just as though nothing were to happen. We in Jeddah were under the same strain of February 1945. I had been informed that on his way home from Yalta, FDR wanted to meet the king secretly on board a cruiser of the Great Bitter Lake in the Suez Canal, and I was told to arrange for his meeting. Secrecy was the first importance because of the need to protect the security of Mr. or President Roosevelt. This book is currently unavailable on all websites, but if you want to read it, there is a free PDF on A-1- Matter Q.
In
This book
reality,
has a 3
that
point.
book was
Uh-huh.
that book. In reality, that book right there is about a secret meeting about them putting the Jewish people over there in Israel. That's what that meeting was about.
Qam. So if you want to read this book for free, there's a PDF on A-1- Matter Q. This book has a 3.5-star rating, but being that there are no copies available to buy, we're going to give that rating a side eye.
No, and
So,
we're gonna get a price of it. So when it do come back in stock, you know how much that shit costs.
yeah. So
How
the
much do
last
that
time
book
that we
cost?
researched this, $100,000, y'all. So the 3.5 rating for $100,000 book, I don't think so. And you can't get it nowhere right now. So whoever had that money, they wanted that information. So I would definitely, if you could go and download, again, that website is called A-1- Front, that's FRONT, Matter, MATTER, and then the letter Q. That book is $100,000. So if I were you, I would go there and read it for free before they remove it. I guarantee you, whatever's in there, they don't want you to know what's in there.
If that's
So
the
run
original
and
shit,
download that.
you know what I'm saying? That's why it's
Yeah.
important for you to get the actual original books of it or the copies of the book because you don't know what they be. I heard people say, man, they be took some stuff out the online copy and they left this part out, and I be like, see, that's why you need the book.
Con. All right. And our last and final book is called A Textbook of the Origin and History of the Colored People, 1841 by James Pennington. So, this book by the African American minister and abolitionist James W.C. Pennington, published in 1841 by L. Skinner in Hartford, Connecticut. This work is considered by some to be the first history book of African American teachers. The book explores topics such as African slave trades and history of slavery in the U.S. and the contributions of people of color, making it a significant document for understanding the Black experience in America. You could buy this book on Amazon in paperback for $15 or hardcover for $35, and it has a 4.4-star rating. So, this is the end of books to recommend lesson 2. I hope you found a few of these books to your liking and purchase some. And I know you're not rich, but if you think about it, if you have your mind focused on Yahweh and your people like you're supposed to, you would use the money that you would normally use on nonsense like birthday parties, holidays like Halloween that's coming up, or Christmas, or spending hundreds of dollars isn't a problem, or those $200 Nikes or the latest video games. So why not have that same energy for books you can use to refine you, your family, and your people, to better us as a whole so we can have some unity? We can basically use these books and change our mindset and our way of thinking. Instead of wasting your hard-earned money on meaningless things, invest in gifts that keep on giving. Clothes and shoes and trinkets are going to end up in the Goodwill or the art, and some are just going to wind up in the trash, but this knowledge can be passed on for generations to come. The number one thing they fear the most in this world is us recognizing who we are, because they know that there will be hell to pay. And I'm not spreading hate. I'm just trying to make you think. So, I'm going to digress on all of that because I don't want to get flagged for like no kind of speeches or anything like that. But did anybody have anything they would like to discuss about any of these books?
Yeah, I just wanted to say they could take their flag and slam dunk that shit in the trash.
Ooh. Cause, well, you know how
Hezekiah, can you
they
say?
get when you start trying to uplift our people and stuff. Huh?
I was seeing if Hezekiah can speak.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it. Yeah, but they'll start talking about it's some kind of hate speech or something whenever you're trying to wake our people up. So,
Uh,
yeah, those books that I bought out on here in this live. Oh, no, we can't hear you, brother Zach. I don't know what's going on. TikTok is doing the
Try
most
opening
today.
up your camera.
I think it.
Try turning on your camera.
Brother Hazat.
Yeah. Now this brother right here, see this book right here that the brother bought, Undeniable. That's a book that you also want to get. That's a very important book to get. It has a lot of evidence in there. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot.